Heart Unarmored, and this is a space for honest conversations, a lot of tender truths, quite frankly. And our goal is to share humanity and normalize a lot of the shit we don't talk about. What you might hear in this episode might get really personal. That's intentional. But remember, this is a podcast. It's not therapy. It's never to be taken as therapeutic advice. Yes, I am a therapist. I am not your therapist. This is just us having a conversation and being real and that sort of thing. So it's in a clinical setting, but this isn't a clinical conversation. It's a collective normalizing one. So if you find yourself triggered, because we're going to be talking about some hard shit, make sure that you do seek help from either a licensed professional. You've got a licensed marriage and family therapist here and a licensed professional counselor. I am going to be putting resources up on the website, or even just make sure you're talking to someone. With that said, heart open, armor off. Yeah. Also, ChatGPT gave me that tagline, so I did not come up with
ChatGPT is my bestie.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
Like, bestie.
So, who are you guys? Obviously, I'm Gina, licensed marriage and family therapist. You guys have seen me a million times on social media. I did the intro to this. I'm kind of the showrunner here. But who are you guys, and what made you decide to do this other than me half begging you to?
Yeah, I'm Erica. I'm not a therapist.
Damn,
I know. I should have went to school longer, I guess.
I mean, you're in the nonprofit sector.
Yeah,
So you're
I am in the nonprofit sector. I'm not going to say where I work just because.
No.
But yeah, I am a mom of 3, and full-time working mom, married, have a dog, the whole shebang, all the things that come with it. So.
Yeah. You're like the definition of white picket fence.
I don't know about, with a lot more swear words, I think.
So, my house too.
Yeah.
My house too.
So,
I'm Allie. Like Gina said, I am a licensed professional counselor. Unlike Erica, I don't have children, but I have 2 dogs. And also married. That whole shebang. But
one day we'll get to the episode where I talk about almost kicking your sister-in-law with your wedding.
that'll be a fun
Well, yeah, we'll
episode.
talk about the family episode then.
Yeah.
we need an entire 3 hours just for my
gosh,
family.
yeah.
So,
Yeah, getting into this stuff is important to me, not only as a therapist, but also kind of just bringing to light that a lot of people go through all the same things and no one understands that.
Yeah, and I think that's what made me decide to do this, because I was actually talking with my therapist, and I was like, as much as I love her and she's worth every freaking penny I pay her, I'm like, why am I paying someone to just be told you're not alone?
yeah, I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah, and I mean a lot of my clients, quite frankly, don't get me wrong, I do this for a living, I love getting paid, I make a lot of money, thank God, but they don't need me. They just need me to say yeah, that fucking sucks, and that's a thing, you know?
Hey, we're here to tell you that fucking sucks.
Yes, maybe that should be the tagline instead of hard up, armor off. Can you make this more vulgar, ChatGPT?
Yeah, right.
But we're gonna be talking about body image stuff and body dysmorphia and that sort of stuff. So, what have you guys experienced with that? Because I know for me, it used to be a lot about my weight. Now that has switched for me, that it's more about my rosacea. I think I posted a TikTok about it a while ago, but I look like I'm sunburned 24/7.
Yeah, I think mine's mostly about my weight, but also hairy as fuck.
Yeah,
and
that's a thing.
It's not something that anybody's ever yeah, I'm hairy, and it's just it gets to me because you'll be at the pool and you'll look down and you'll be like, wow, I didn't shave that area for 14 years. How did that happen?
And it's
just
really been
a strip of hair that you just missed. So that's a lot of it. I think for the most part.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think for me, it's mostly about my weight. Got a lot of medical things that cause my weight to fluctuate, but it's more of the things that people say to me about my weight.
can you talk more about that? Because you are actually kind of the opposite of the spectrum from what a lot of women endure. Because like I'm thinking about like Erica and I, we've had conversations outside of this about like gaining weight, not being able to lose it, but you are actually the opposite.
Yeah. So for all intents and purposes, my stomach is paralyzed. I cannot digest food. So intents and purposes, I cannot gain weight. So I lose a lot of weight very quickly if I don't eat, all those kinds of things. So growing up, we didn't know what was wrong with me. I was always smaller, all those things. And I had a lot of people tell me, oh, you're so skinny, like you're great, you don't need to gain any weight, all those things. And then finally finding out what was wrong with me. Again, still getting all those like comments like, you don't need to gain weight, you're so skinny, like you're perfect. But I'm like, no, you're not. Like if you understood, like I'm very underweight, malnourished, like all those things.
Yeah, because the thing is you can't eat.
Yeah.
Like that, like that's the thing. It's not because you choose to.
Well, do you
know?
do you get the comments too of like, go eat a cheeseburger, just eat a cheeseburger? And it's like, bro, I would if I could.
Yeah,
Like,
I got that a lot whenever I was first trying to like gain weight after I had my first procedure. They're like, just go eat something. I'm like, do you not understand? It's not that easy. Like I have certain foods that like are quote unquote safe foods where I can eat those that don't bother my stomach. But then I have like some days I will actually like crave a cheeseburger or crave like a steak dinner, but like I eat 2 to 3 bites, then I'm like miserable because my stomach is so full and I can't eat anything more, and then I become bloated, and then that's where all those extra body image thoughts are like, oh my gosh, like I look like crap, like all that.
Well, and I'm wondering too, like, because you're relatively newlywed, like you guys just celebrated your 1-year anniversary. So like, I'm wondering, when you are bloated, do you get a lot of the comments about like babies and things like that, or have you noticed? Because I know I get that a lot, where like, if I'm bloated or like I'm just that, it's always like, oh, are you thinking about having a third? No, bitch, I'm just fat. Like, sorry, like.
No, I mean, we've made it very clear to those around us that like we're not trying to have children for like a decent amount of time, just because like that's not in the cards for us right now. But like I also wear a lot of like baggy clothing for that specific reason. There is, I do see someone in my practice that like will always make comments of like, oh my gosh, darling, you lost weight, you look great. And I'm like, I literally saw you 2 weeks ago. Could not have lost weight in that like amount of time. She's like, your face is thinner, you're this and then that. I'm like,
well, I want to know, and is she an older lady? I want to know why older people always find it okay to comment about anybody the way that they look. Yeah. Whether it's, oh, you look like you lost weight, oh, you look like you gained weight, oh, are you pregnant? What gives them...
There's no filter.
Yeah, like why?
Yeah.
What makes you think that it's okay to just say that to someone?
But like if you would say it to them,
oh, God help us all.
Yeah.
But I also think too, generationally, right, is because I think back to some of the older women I know that still to this day in their 80s will wake up and it cannot be seen until they've got a full face of makeup, hair done, like this is the most dressed up I think I've been in weeks. You know,
I wear pajama pants to work.
Yeah.
I mean, I work in my basement. It's not like I'm leaving the house, but like,
right.
What the do I care?
Yeah.
I'll run to the dollar store and be in my pajamas. Yeah. I don't care.
Exactly. Because I think it's not that we care less about our appearance, because I think that's a big thing for that generation. But I also think that like, they just make everything, like everything has to be what they think it is. Right?
Yeah.
And like, honestly, that's going to be a whole episode in itself, is like generational differences. But like, I think that's the thing is like, well, I'm doing this and I'm to the nines all the time. So like, why aren't you?
Right.
And it's like, because I'm a different fucking person, Linda. Like,
always Linda too. God damn it, Linda.
Yeah,
get it together.
Yeah, we're in Southwest PA. It's Linda, not Karen. We don't have many Karens. We got a lot of Lindas. Yeah, because that was like one of the things I had on here to talk about was like, just this idea of like the culture of like, what makes it even okay to say that, you know? Because like I remember I got so many comments, because weirdly enough, like I said, my rosacea I've had basically my entire adulthood, and it got a lot better when I was pregnant, weirdly enough. I don't know, it was like hormonal or whatever, and so many people were like, oh my god, what are you doing? And I'm like,
I'm just knocked up.
Creating a human. Like, Yeah, like, I don't, like, but you know what I mean? Like, I think that's absolutely true, Erica,
Yeah.
where it's like, what the fuck makes people think that they can comment on it? But I also think it's accusatory, not curious, because I think I'd be more open if somebody was like, hey, I noticed this, what's up with it? Like,
Right.
that feels really different than what's wrong with you.
Yeah, I agree. Like, if you're just wanting to ask, then just ask. Don't be rude about it.
Mm-hmm. But I think that's the difference, and like that's the culture shift that's happening, where it's like, how do we have conversations about this? I mean, thankfully, like, Eric and I have known each other long enough and well enough at this point. Allie, I've literally known you since you were 4, like, you know,
Yeah.
where we're comfortable having this conversation. But it's like, how do we get it so that it makes it more comfortable in like different environments? Because I'm also thinking like, up here, this is my office, like half the time I'm in shorts and a t-shirt or shorts and a tank top, not even this dressed up to see clients. But like when I'm out at an event for AJ stuff, or even just going to the grocery store, like Erica, you said going to like the Dollar Tree or whatever, like how do we make it so that we like can combat that? I guess I don't know, maybe that's the
Whatever the
question.
16 and 17-year-olds were doing. I
Ooh,
want.
tell me about that, because you
No,
have
because
kids in that generation.
listen, he's almost 16. He runs around in pajama pants everywhere. Goes to school, goes to his girlfriend's house, goes to his friend's house, goes to the gym. Actually, he stopped going to the gym in pajama pants because we were like, come on.
That's also like a safety
wear
thing.
gym clothes
Yeah.
at least. But they just don't care.
Yeah.
And if I'm like, why are you wearing pajama pants? And he's like, because they're comfortable. Huh, duh, because they're comfortable.
Right.
Why wouldn't we all want to just be comfortable? Like, why do we have to wear jeans to go to the grocery store? I don't.
No. Which is so interesting too, because if you think about it, I mean, I'm poor, so I haven't traveled overseas at all. But,
Same.
but like, I see a lot of like social media stuff about how like women in Europe like go like dress up to go to the grocery store. And like to some extent, I get that, right? Because I think it's about like, this is my identity, this is my dignity, it's cultural.
Sure.
But also like, why do you value comfort over that kind of stuff? Because like, I'm like honestly not even that comfortable in what I'm wearing, but I also have to do laundry, so like,
Yes.
like, you know, like I think about that too, is like, why as Americans do we value that, you know? And is that important?
And I wonder if that, like, for me, it's like, I'm comfortable. I want to be comfortable because I am heavy. I'm fat.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to be in tight-fitting clothing.
Yeah.
Like, and show off every single role that I have.
Maybe that's the difference, because obviously as like Americans, we're like way heavier than like most
Yeah. I feel
other
maybe.
places.
I don't know.
I don't know.
But I don't. Like, I
Yeah.
hate jeans.
I'm the same. Like, I couldn't
If
tell
I
you
have
the
to sit
last
down in jeans
yeah.
for more than like 30 minutes. God help me.
Oh my god, I couldn't tell you the last time I wore jeans like comfortably. You
Mine
know?
just recently because I lost weight.
Yeah.
So I went to Macy's and bought pants and they fit me. Finally.
Mm-hmm.
So-
But that's the other thing too,
Yeah.
is because you guys are also both ends of the spectrum of like finding fucking clothes that fit too.
Dude, the plus size sections at like the mall or like, I don't know, Kohl's or whatever. Why do they think fat people have to look like frumps?
Like a tablecloth.
Or like
Like-
old ladies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want to wear a floral pattern.
No.
I want to look cute. I want to wear trendy stuff too.
Yeah.
Just because I'm fat doesn't mean I don't get to look cute.
Exactly. Exactly. And I'm sure you have the opposite problem too, because like finding smalls and things like that, but also ones that fit your length, because you're pretty tall.
Yeah, that's been the hardest thing with like pants, but like just recently I had to go buy a whole new like all new shorts for the summer, because like from last summer to this summer I lost so much weight because everything got worse again, and like I put on a pair of shorts from last year, didn't realize they were too big. I just thought, the waist is a little big, whatever. And I go to visit my husband at work, and I go to the bathroom, and I like happen, like any woman does, check themselves out in the bathroom, like mirror, and I'm like, these really look that baggy on me. I'm like it looked like I had like a pile of shit in my pants, and I was like, wow, this is great. And so I like immediately went that night and like bought all new shorts, because I was like, I can't afford it, but like we're gonna do it anyway, so I don't want to look like crap. Like,
Yeah. You don't want to look like sloppy or something.
Yeah,
Whatever.
exactly.
Whatever.
Yeah. And I guess the other thing that comes up too is like, I think back like my views on this have changed drastically since I was a teenager. You know, and I think about, like, I don't know if that's just, like, time that's passed and things have changed, which I'm sure is, like, a part of it. But I also think, like, I think it was my sister Alana and Nicolette, we were talking about it the one time where we were talking about how we wish we were still the fat we thought we were in high school.
Oh my God. I would give anything to go back to
Yeah.
that. Like,
Where
I thought I was
yeah.
such a cow, and then I look at myself now and I'm like, God damn, I used to be thin.
Yeah, I don't, maybe this is something I should talk to my therapist about. I just gave up my size 4 jeans from high school.
Wait.
Because that was the last time I fit that size, because I was like, I'm going to get back to this. And I finally just accepted, like, yeah, that I've had 2 children. I have a C-section. I have a pain disorder, which means I can't work out. So I'm like, I'm never going to fit back into these jeans.
I was cleaning up today my room. I'm a very messy human being, so I had to clean up my room. And I was cleaning up my drawers, and I pulled out a shirt that I kept from college just for, like, keepsake. Not to actually wear it. It's a size small, and I, like, held it up, and I was like, Jesus, I fit this. I'm an extra large now. Like,
right.
It's crazy.
Right. Or, like, even Allie talked about, like, the shorts from last summer.
Yeah,
she's like, what happened? You know, obviously we know what happened.
But, like, what human, like, what part of me, like, fit into that to, like, I had to go get a whole different size, and I was like, where, like, obviously, like, I didn't notice it, because I didn't wear those all winter, and then now I'm just like,
yeah,
where did it go?
Exactly. And then it's, like, just one of those things where you're, like, you get to a point where you're, like, how do you accept who you are? Because I think that's, like, as women, where we get so caught up. Like, I think about, I doubt she will ever see this, but my 80-year-old aunt, my dad's sister, my Aunt Sandy, Allie's laughing. She knows Aunt Sandy.
She's got no idea what's going on.
But you would love her. She is something, and I admire her in so many ways, because, like, she had my cousin at 18 and was a single mom his whole life. Lived with my grandma, practically helped raise me because I was always at my grandma's and my parents worked in summers and stuff. But, like, she's still worried about her weight at 80 years old and how she looks, and diet pills this and diet pills that. And I'm like,
I don't think that ever goes away.
Yeah, like, does it? Yeah.
I don't think it does. Because my grandma, till the day that she died, was like, she never outright said, like, oh, I need to lose weight or anything like that, but she would joke about, like, her pancake ass.
Yeah.
Girlfriend could not fill out a pair of jeans to save her life, right?
Yeah.
And she would, like, joke around about it. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if she was joking or, like, it bothered her. So,
and that's the hard part too, because, like, we were talking about that generation before, like, about being so particular, but also, like, it's so passive aggressive. You never know what's real and what's not in so many ways.
Yeah.
So it's like, how the fuck are we supposed to figure it out if they never stood on one side or the other? You know?
Yeah, I don't know.
Or I think about too, like, obviously, like, I feel like as women, there's, like, I could highlight a million different fucking parts of my body that I don't like. I used to tell everybody my favorite part of my body was my tits, because they were the first thing that got bigger if I put on weight. So I'm like, also too, like, I don't know, if you don't like boobs, I probably don't like you, because I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you? They're just fun.
They're just,
But, like, it's still one of those things where I do get self-conscious about it sometimes, because I'm like, oh my god, is it, like, too much? Not that I can, like, fucking help it half the time, but, like, is it too much, or is it something like that? But also, if I flip the script to that, like, where I feel like I've been more accepting about, like, my weight and how my body looks, especially because I have a huge apron belly. I mean, I had, 2 C-sections plus a, I don't know, what are they, when they take your tooth out? Too bad Shauna's not here, she'd be able to tell us the correct term.
Shauna, put it in the comments.
Yes, medical dictionary, saplingectomy or something like that. I got tooth out.
I don't know.
But, like, that I created,
that.
Yeah, I got, like, a fuck ton of scar tissue. I know I'm always gonna have this, and I feel like I've come to peace with that. But now that I'm at peace with the way, like, kind of, like, my stomach looks, I am so fucking self-conscious about my goddamn rosacea now. And, like, I feel like in some ways it never gets solved. It just, like, gets shifted. It's like, oh, like,
your mind will find something else to pick up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. There's always something to worry about. And I think that also comes from seeing so much on TikTok and Instagram. And it's like, you know, I see on TikTok now, like, oh, how to dress for your apron belly. And I'm like, why can't I just dress?
Yeah.
Why do I gotta dress for my apron belly?
I mean, some of that is logistics,
it's helpful,
right? But like,
it is.
But also,
like,
why?
But we see it so much, so then it's like, oh.
Like, I wasn't thinking about it until I saw this thing.
Right.
You know? Or you get like Allie was saying earlier, the comments, right? And especially when we, like, intersect that with social media, right? Or, like, because, like, I got a comment the other day from one of my clients that was like, oh my God, you're so tan. I was like, okay, yeah, I did just spend a week at the beach, but, like, also, what does that mean for the other times I'm not?
Right.
You know?
Do I look pale and sickly? Like,
right.
Like,
it also could be like, I think about like professional social media content creators that like have studios and lighting and like can angle things a certain way, and I'm like, I don't know, it just doesn't feel real all the time, and that's why I wanted to do this, because I'm like, yeah, show up as you are. Yeah, my office is hot as balls most of the time, but like,
doesn't feel awful.
Yeah. Oh, I'm not hearing here for
What?
5 hours. It's currently 81. But yeah, like just that idea of like, I don't know, I feel like it transfers, and then like it, like you said, Erica, like it almost doubles down on social media. Allie, do you feel that coming from like the other end of the spectrum, or just like mostly in person? Because you mentioned about like the person at your office.
I don't know, I try to stay off of that area of social media. With working with this type of population before, I've like kind of...
I was gonna say, we should probably mention that like you have worked also professionally.
Yeah,
with,
so I
like,
worked in a higher
disorders.
level of care in a partial hospitalization and intensive outpatient with eating disorders, and a big part of that is body image. And so with working there, I kind of like anything that involved like, I don't even know how to put it, if people were like relating to their looks or outfits, things like that, like I would try to like detox myself off of that. So like my TikTok or any like feed is basically like either Disney, dogs, babies, like it's like happy things rather than like focusing on like those negative things.
But that's good, right? Because that was like one of the things, because like I want to make sure that we talk about things that people can do as well to help help themselves if they don't have this space to have the conversation, is like detox your fucking social media. Like it is okay to unfollow, unfriend. Like it might feel uncomfortable, but like long term it is gonna be so much better.
You can't make a change in your life if you're not willing to be uncomfortable.
Yes.
I think is one of the things that I, whenever I have been actively trying to lose weight for, God, as long as I can remember. Even being 18, 19, 20 years old, thinking I was fat, and I wasn't. Like, oh, I have to watch. Did I watch? Absolutely not. I was drinking beer and eating ramen noodles. But like, now, in my 30s, constantly wanting to lose weight. But I didn't want to do things to lose the weight until I realized that I have to be uncomfortable. It's not about comfort when you're wanting to make a change. And that doesn't have to be weight. It can be wanting to change your social media. It can be wanting to, whatever. I can't even think of anything else. But it's part of growing as a human being is being uncomfortable. I think is huge, and people need to remember that.
No, I absolutely agree. I tell my clients that all the time. I'm like, if you think about like growth in like a very physical form, like a plant literally has to like bust up through the soil. Like that's hard fucking work, and it's not always good. As you can tell by my really dying aloe plants.
It's really hard to kill.
Sorry, Mom. They're from my mom. My mom is a giant one. She's a very green thumb. But like, I think that's the piece. And then I was also thinking about too, in that regard, I think there's also shame about asking for help with it. Like, I think we're all expected to like do it on our own for some reason, which is also part of the reason why I wanted to start all of this too, because like, I genuinely don't think we were meant to be like solitary creatures, and I don't know how fucking anybody does it on their own.
No.
And same with like all of these like different things out there too that like medically help, right? Like I know Allie, you've talked briefly about like you've gone through the fucking ringer with medical shit. I know I've like tried a couple different things. Erica, I know you have too. But like I feel like there's such shame in being like, no, I need to do this thing to help, right? So like I did like an e-dermatology appointment for my rosacea, and it was literally 8 different things that they wanted me to do to help it. And somebody was like, oh my God, that's so much, why would you do that? And I'm like, because I'm trying to help myself with something that I don't like about myself.
It's always, well, why would you do that? Well, because I want to.
Well,
Why do you
yes.
care? Like,
Right, like the next step for me is getting like a pacemaker type thing put on my stomach so it stimulates it so I can digest food. And I forget who it was, when I told them that, like that is the next step, like I've already met my doctor, like that's what we're doing. They're like, well, I don't want you to have to go through surgery if you don't have to. I'm like, we've been through every single step, like this is where we're at. Like I don't want to get surgery, but like this is where I'm at. If I want to live and have like a good quality of life, like I have to go through this. Like I don't want surgery, but like I need to have this time.
Exactly. And also on the surgery note, I get that like anesthesia is not great for you, right? So obviously I won't have too much. But I don't get why so many people are against surgeries. I had my first ever real surgery, because I had C-sections, but yes, that's surgery, but I was like awake during it, and that sort of thing. But I had my first ever like knocked out surgery when I got my tubes removed. It's the best fucking sleep I've ever got in my life, and I'm like finding what else can I get surgery on?
I didn't know that the people are against it.
Yeah,
like I never
really. Yeah,
I like never have encountered someone being like, ooh, why would you want to do that?
Yeah,
Gosh, I've been like getting like endoscopies and things since I was like, I don't know, like 13, 14 years old. So like that's one of the best naps of my life.
Yeah, that's what I
Those
mean.
twilight sleeps are the best.
Yeah, and that's what I mean, where I'm like, but again, it comes back to people are always going to comment, right?
Always.
And so I also think a big tool to have is knowing how you want to respond to people, you know? And like, as a therapist, I always joke around with my clients, I'm like, so therapist Gina would say this, petty ass bitch Gina would say this, right?
AKA real life Gina.
Yeah. Yeah, I am mostly real life Gina in therapy, but like I think the healthier answer is just to like be like create like boundaries and be like, hey, like I don't talk about this. I'd rather like kind of like steer the conversation. But petty bitch Gina will come around and be like, oh, you don't like how big I am, or you want to comment on my stomach. But good thing my husband can like shift it out of the way and stick his dick in me still. Like I don't know. I will go like deep, which actually the TikTok I was talking about earlier, which if I can find it again, and I'm gonna 100% like tag this creator in any video I post with this, where she was like, yeah, she's like, you may not like my apron belly, but my husband's totally cool with flipping up my fupa and holding me over like a lawn chair. And I was like, yes, right? Or like with my rosacea, oh, did you get a sunburn? Are you embarrassed? Because also as a child, Allie would probably remember this, but like if I would get embarrassed,
you would like break
mean cherry red. I mean that's just the fair skin. Even the boys, my kids are 6 and 4. If Anthony runs around too much, he's bright red. But like I'll literally tell people like, no, sorry, I just got done having sex with my husband, so I'm still cooling off, like stuff like that. But I think like I go for shock factor because I think people aren't expecting it and I'm a little vindictive. But I think having like that plan of like, okay, if this is something I'm comfortable with or people are commenting about, how do I want to respond? So that you have like almost an arsenal of being like, no, like if you're gonna comment, I'm gonna make you feel like a dick.
Yeah, I just ignore people, which I feel like is surprising for me because I can be a clapback.
I was gonna say, what makes you think I'm not surprised by that? So what makes you say people are surprised by that?
I just, because I do tend to have like a loud mouth and stuff like that, so people are like, oh, you're not gonna say anything. I'm like, no. Yeah, it's not worth my time and energy.
That's the other thing too. It's like how much time and energy do we want to put into all of this stuff? And I think that's a lesson that I've learned the older I get, right? Like, and also too, I think like you were saying earlier, like culturally it's shifting as well. Like the generation that's coming up, they don't give a fuck.
Nope.
But like, I feel like for us, like I don't know about you guys, but like the older I've gotten, the more I'm like, why do I give a shit what anybody else thinks? Why do I care?
That's a hard one. Because I do care what people think, but I don't want to. So I like play it off as I don't. But in my head, I'm like, oh, they don't like me. Oh,
Yeah.
And I work with kids, and like they'll have like their little giggle fits, and I'm like, making fun of me.
That's
Like the high school
self-conscious.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like that. But, like, oh no, like they're laughing at me. Like it's
Yeah.
me. They're God, and if they are, who cares?
Right.
Like whatever. But like, it's weird. I don't know where I was going with that. I can't remember.
No, but I think there's this thing about like we were talking about getting older, but still having that self-conscious thing. Because again, like I think there's this thing where it's like probably from most of us in high school, right? Like I feel like that's shifting, but also I feel like it's shifting out of high school and going to social media, where it's like people are always constantly critiquing whether they're saying it out loud or not. And I think there's a level of self-consciousness that comes with that around body image, because that's what we present to the world, right? And a lot of it can't be helped.
Yeah.
And there's so many different types that like if you don't fit into whatever celebrity is out there or whatever, whoever's famous that they're idolizing at that moment, if you don't fall into that category, like you're immediately going to be like not picked on, but like they're gonna pick and like prod at every part of you. Like, well, you don't look like this, maybe you should do that. Like you're gonna get all of that to fit that mold.
Yeah. And I guess I'm curious too, which that kind of triggered the thought in me. Have you guys seen the reverse aging stuff that's been happening in Hollywood and like the comments about that? I was just curious like what your thoughts were about that.
Like Botox and that kind of shit, or what?
I guess it's like even more than that. Like I know the one that pops up the most on my social media about it is like Meghan Trainor, but I know like Shania Twain has also been commenting on it.
I know Meghan Trainor like lost a ton of weight,
Yeah.
but did she do something?
But there's like
anti-aging
other
or
stuff, I guess, where they like it's basically just this idea of like we are now valuing if you look much like significantly younger than what your actual chronological age is. Where I'm like, I'm in my mid-30s. Like obviously I don't want to look like trash, but like also like
I'm living.
I'm in my mid-fucking 30s. Like I don't want to look like I'm 20 years old in many ways, but so I was just curious if you guys had thoughts about that or anything like that, because I think that's gonna, we might shift out of the high school bully side, but I also feel like there's this innate pressure when we see things like that.
And I think if somebody wants to look younger because it helps their body image, like that's great.
Yeah.
Great if that's what helps you. But I always joke like, oh, I need Botox because I got my crow's feet and I got my line on my forehead but yeah, I'm not that's so I'm poor, man.
Yeah, that's the other
pay
thing
for that.
too, is like I feel like income level 100% also affects it.
Yeah.
Right? Where I'm like, dude, I've got like school age children, like AJ and I just had a conversation where I was like, well, shit, pre-K's coming up, gotta dish out so much per month for that. And thankfully we got like an inexpensive one, but it's still just like, I don't have money that even if I had money, would I want to spend it on those
tattoos.
things? Yeah.
They're permanent. Botox is not.
Yes, true.
No
like
hate
an
to people
investment.
get. No hate to people get Botox.
Well, funny enough, you get Botox actually for medical reasons.
Yeah, that's good though. Like
Yeah.
because I know Botox helps like migraines and
Yeah.
that kind of stuff.
Speaking of that, I went to it wasn't even like my Botox doctor's appointment that I went to. It was one of my stomach doctor, ironically, and the nurse that was like doing my vitals and everything saw that I had Botox on my meds list. She goes, "You're so lucky that you get it for free," and I was like, "You act like I want to get 40
You
years."
have debilitating like candy migraine.
Like
Oh
I've
my
been through so
God.
many different med trials. Like this is the only thing that even barely works for me, and I get 40 needles in my head. No, thank you. I would rather not get 40 needles put in my
I
head.
don't like how many you get.
Yeah.
I knew it was a lot. I don't think I ever knew the number.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, she's like, I
Again,
have to pay for mine. I was like, okay.
because it's not medically necessary, Becky.
Yeah, like I was like,
Why are they always
It's always Becky.
Becky's a
Becky with the
damn
good
it.
hair. That's what
the Botox too, apparently.
Becky and the Botox and the good hair. She's gotta pay for that shit.
Linda bitching at us for wearing PJs to the dollar store.
Damn it. Oh no! Again. That just goes. Gotta make a comment. Oh, you get that for free.
Yeah, I was like,
got it for free.
Yeah.
I just like sat there. I was like, just please take my blood pressure and go away.
Right.
Like,
Because now also too, now my blood pressure is gonna probably not be accurate because
Right.
now I'm either pissed or insecure or
Yeah.
yeah, I was
whatever it
like,
is, yeah.
and like anytime I get the Botox, like, cause like the first like 3 or 4 days, like it just sits under your skin. So like my forehead is like so lumpy, and I have like all these lumps over.
Oh shit! I wouldn't have even thought of that.
All over
Does
my
it
face.
swell in the injection sites and stuff like that? Yeah.
So like I just have like little like swollen dots all over like my forehead and my face for like 3 or 4 days, and then it bruises and
Yeah.
it's bad.
Right.
But it's free.
It's free.
Right.
Lucky you.
That's what's important. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
So I guess I'm gonna flip the script a little bit too, because we were talking about like detoxing social media. What are your guys' thoughts on, they call it like mirror mantras,
I don't even know
where
what
you
that is.
like look in the mirror, or you just have that like saying to yourself. Like I think about like, I want to say my mother-in-law was just saying that my nieces, they do that with my nieces at night, where they're like, I'm beautiful, I'm strong, I'm this, I'm that. And like, I think that's a good thing, especially for that age. But like, I feel like as adults, I'll be honest, I just feel fucking stupid doing
Right,
stuff
and
like
if
that.
you don't believe it, like
It just
if I like was feeling like pretty like crap that day, and if I look in the mirror trying to tell myself like I'm beautiful, like I'm gonna start picking out the things that I don't like.
Yeah.
Like
I feel like, bitch, you ugly.
Yeah.
Look in the mirror like,
Or
what are you doing?
I've been thinking of one thing, but let me find 4 other things I don't
Exactly,
fucking like.
exactly. Like
Right?
whenever I was working in that clinic, like we would do something similar, but not like saying like those mantras, but like finding at least like 1 or 2 things that you like about yourself. It could be like your hair, your eyes, your lips, like whatever. It doesn't have to be like your whole body. It doesn't have to be like finding one thing about yourself that like you know that you like. And if you don't like it the next day, it's fine. Find something else that you like that day.
Yeah, I think that's huge. Is like it doesn't have to be permanent,
Mhm.
right? Like it could change like hour by fucking hour, but I think it's about finding like that one thing where you're like, all right, I'm okay. I think it's like I don't even have to be good with it as long as I'm okay with it.
Right.
Yeah, right.
All right, I don't like
I
have
don't love it.
excess hatred for this
Yeah.
part today.
Yeah,
But I don't hate it today.
yeah. Because I was thinking about that. Because like I think about obviously cognitive behavioral therapy (CBT) is like the thing that comes up a lot when we talk about like body image and like being helpful. And for anybody who doesn't know, it's like Pavlov's dog. You trick your brain into thinking something different. But like it feel like you were saying, it feels hard to believe, right? So I think it's about like just meeting yourself where you're at and finding like one thing for it's like it doesn't even have to be great, just be okay, you know? Because I think there's this pressure to like almost do too much too, where it's like, can I just pick like one fucking small thing? And sometimes it's not even like an image thing. Like I know we're talking about body image, but I'm like, I don't fucking like anything about my body, but I'm really fucking good at cooking.
Right, that's what
Like
I had someone tell me that like, well, I don't like anything about myself today, or like about myself, the way I look, and I was like, okay, like do you like your laugh? Do you like the way you make people smile? Like, you know, do you like your
You're not just your looks.
Yes.
yeah, and I think that's the other thing is like we get so like zoomed in on certain things where it's like, hey, I gotta widen my spectrum. Like even today, it was funny because like I was thinking about like I was like, oh, I'm really happy and proud of myself that my child is obsessed with The Sims as I was at his age, and that's so fun. It sounds so fucking stupid, but I'm like, that's a really cool thing. I take a lot of pride in that. So I'm like, okay, I don't like how like my makeup turned out today because my mom never did makeup, and so I never really learned how to do it. So, but I could be proud of myself for that. Like that feels good because I think that's the thing about body image is it's just about combating it with trying to feel good about yourself in any way. And it sucks that we have to generalize it so much, but I think for where everything's at, that's kind of like where it is.
Yeah.
You know? So, with that being said, I kind of want to end every one of these conversations before I do all my legal disclaimers again. Please don't sue me. Like small wins. Like, what is something that you guys have overcome as far as like body image is concerned, if anything at all, or just something that's helpful that you do?
Well, I mean, I don't think it's small, but I've lost 40 pounds. Thank you, Monjaro, because hello,
Yeah.
I have insulin resistance, and so many
Yes.
people are like, "Oh, that's not real," and I'm like, oh,
Yes,
"I'll
the
tell that
fuck
to
it
my
is.
body because it
Yes.
says otherwise."
Yes.
But yeah, and that's it's a big win. But I'm down 40 pounds, and I actually had a doctor appointment today, and I am in excellent health, and my doctor's super happy. So
That's awesome. Also, can we pause for a second and go back for a minute about like Monjaro and like,
yeah,
Zepbound and Ozempic. And like I know there's a lot of jokes out there because quite frankly I dropped my dad off. My dad's had diabetes almost my whole life, and he's been on it for years. It's like the one thing that helps him. But I always jack him off about like, oh, you're on this celebrity drug, you know, and stuff like that. But also like I feel like we need to remove the shame from that stuff because it genuinely does help people. You know, like similar like Allie with the Botox, or you with the Mounjaro. You know,
it's. People think it's the easy way out, but people aren't also like, sure, it helps. And like, truly, if I did nothing and just took that shot, I'd probably still lose weight, right? But I'm still working out 3 to 5 times a week. I'm making sure that I get my protein in because that's super important when you're on a drug like this. Am I perfect at it? Absolutely not. Like, I think I ate pretzels yesterday. That's it. That's all I had all day long. Like,
so that's the difference. Like, there are people out there that are using that drug or that like class of drugs, just using that, not doing anything else, not changing their lifestyles. And then there are folks like you and a couple other people that are changing their lifestyles, that are staying active, eating better. Yeah, you're going to have your days that you're going to eat twice, or you're only going to eat one thing because it curbs your appetite. But if you're not willing to change the way the things that you're doing in your life, that medication's not going to work.
Right, exactly, because the minute that you get off of it,
correct,
it's all coming back. And that's where, like, you know, my husband was kind of anti, you know, GLP-1 for a really long time. He's like, oh, you don't know the side effects and da-da-da-da. And I'm like, listen, but what are the side effects of me being 270 pounds?
Yes, and that's the side that they don't,
you know, and my husband came to the doctor's appointment with me because we wanted to ask questions and find out more. And my doctor, he said to him, he's like, listen, I understand your concern, but like, she's at risk for diabetes, heart disease, heart attacks, my cholesterol, like all the things that come along with being overweight. And he was like, she works out, so like that helps it, but it's not. As I age, working out isn't, my weight would have caught up with me and I would have croaked. 100%. So that's where my husband was like, okay, let's try it.
Yeah.
And now I've lost 40 pounds and he was like, wow.
But also too, like, I want to say about the easy way out, I think for most people they get put on that, right? Like you specifically, I think about like, it is absolutely not the easy way out, because like if we think about like this is like a baseline, right, of like what most people do to like maintain a weight or like being healthy, right? Most people in your situation have done this and that and like a million things to do it. And it's like, if you can find something that brings you even down to here, that's not the fucking easy way out, because you've still done how much more than the average person.
Yes. I mean, I was at dietitians, nutritionists, seeing our trainers at the gym. I had a workout plan with a trainer at a different gym. I mean, there was a full 6 months where I was like low carb. We weren't eating like white flour and like processed, like
it's not just diet and exercise.
No, it's not. And it's, you know, 3 years ago I was able to lose a couple nothing wild. I think I lost like 15 pounds like in 2022. But that's where I stayed. I couldn't lose any more. And it all came back. I mean, granted, I went through some shit and like, you know, I just gained it all back, but like it you know, there is a stigma and it's hard, and you know, I don't run around telling people that I'm on it, but like,
no, I mean, because it's your business,
right?
You know,
some people are super open about it and put it on social media and all that stuff, but I'm like, it's me.
Yeah, but also a win is a fucking and 40 pounds down is a huge fucking win.
I'm happy with it. My husband sure as hell happy with it.
So, Allie, what about you? Small win.
Like, as crazy as it sounds, like, when you eat a full meal, like, that is a win, because, I mean, honestly, today I've had 2 donuts, and that's all I've had. Plus protein shake, but that's normal. Like, the last time I had a full meal yesterday, but that was, like, I only ate one thing. If I can have at least, like, 2 meals a day, like, I'm happy, but, like, that has not happened in a very long time. So if I can at least get, like, one meal that has, like, all decent amount of food groups, like, I'm happy.
Yeah, that's huge.
It's huge.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, anything else? It feels important.
Did you say your win?
Oh, no, I guess I should probably do mine.
Come on now.
Have us do it.
Listen, I know, come on.
I think for me, it's that I have finally accepted my body for where it's at. Would I love to lose some weight? Yes. But I think it's for health reasons at this point, not for image reasons. Where, like, my husband is still as tickled pink as he was when I was 60 pounds lighter than what I am now.
Sure.
You know, and things like that. Now I just gotta work on the rosacea piece. But also, ChatGPT, man.
That's my best.
The dermatologist was like, hey, here's these 9 things you need to do. Went to ChatGPT, was like, hey, dermatology wants me to spend like $400 on all these different prescriptions. What over-the-counter stuff can I do? And it gave me a list of things, and it's actually working.
Good.
Yeah, my dad, who doesn't ever comment on that kind of stuff, actually was like, I noticed it. I just felt weird about saying something because I didn't know if it was like you were working on it or not, which is how we should be.
Yes.
You know? So, but yeah, so that's my small win. But thank you guys for being a part of the inaugural conversation.
Yeah.
So I'm sure you guys will both be back, hopefully. This hasn't scared you off too much.
Nope. I always want to do podcasts, so here I am.
Erica basically gave me free range.
I was like,
anytime I'm free.
I'll be here. I'll be your co-host.
Yeah.
Whatever. I don't care.
And then I think the thing that's also important to remind everybody that hopefully listens to this is that we're going to be doing the podcast about a lot of different things. 2 of the episodes after this are going to be about how difficult it is to make friends as an adult. And then also medical gaslighting. That's going to be an interesting one, needless to say. Boy, do I have a lot to say the fuck about that one. But we're going to be adding a lot of different stuff for the podcast, but we're also going to be doing in-person meetings at some point for 3 or 4 hours on a Saturday in September. Nothing has been set yet, but I really want it to be a space where we can meet other women in person as well, to be like, hey, me too, you know, like, it's because I think sometimes that's all we need is someone else to be like, oh my god, I thought it was just me.
Yeah.
And it's like, no girl, like,
Same.
there's a lot of us, and it's just a matter of connecting
Yeah.
everybody. So that's what I'm hoping for. Also, because it's me, and we're gonna have like charcuterie and snacks, and
We love charcuterie.
we're gonna be doing some like mindfulness shit that's not like kitschy, because I don't like breathing exercises. I think they're stupid. I read way too much smut.
She said whatever.
Well, I read way too much smut to do breathing exercises, because then it makes me think of like
you're right.
what I read, and I'm like,
He growled and she breathed deep. Like, what?
yeah, no. Then I start thinking about that.
I
and
mean,
start
I'm
laughing.
only NBSR trained. It's fine. I went to the training. It's
Yeah,
fine.
so, alright, we'll put Allie in charge of that.
Okay, Allie's in charge.
Because I'll start laughing, so it's just
I'll start laughing if you laugh. So
Yeah,
I
exactly.
just made a collective laugh. It's fine.
Yeah.
I'm not the person to sit next to for those things.
Exactly. And so, if anybody ever wants to come be part of the conversation here, too, we always have 2 or 3 people in addition to me to have the conversation, so we can reach out via social media, which is all at Her Heart Unarmored, or the website's finally working, herheartunarmored.com. Just shoot me a message, and because I love talking to people. It's literally what I do for a living. So yeah, and then the other disclaimer, so I don't get sued, is that this is not therapy. Nothing that we talked about here today should be taken as therapeutic advice. I am a therapist, but this space is for storytelling, not treatment. So if you need support, please reach out to someone licensed. I'm going to be putting up some resources on the website for that too, because not just because I am a therapist, but I think therapy is like the greatest fucking thing in the world, and everybody should be in it. So yeah, that's it. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.